we're going to go through the University Library website, and I'm going to walk you through how to find the research articles that you're going to use for your paper. So again, I'm on just the main page, Mary Washington Library's main page, and what I want you to do is to go into the databases A to Z, start there. And when you go onto that site, you'll find on the side here there's a tab that says General Databases. What you can do is you can either look specifically for the database that you might want to use, or Academic Search Complete is a really good database for us to use for our purposes. On the next screen, you'll see the sign in, the login, and this is just your Mary Washington login. So you'll log in here, and this brings you to your search engine. So there's a couple things I want to make sure that I point out to you as you're going along. One of the things that you can do is choose databases here at the top. If there's any databases that you want to add during your search, one of the databases that I sometimes choose is this Education Full Text. That may give you some additional hits. The Social Sciences Full Text may also, as well as some of the psychology databases, but just the Education Full Complete, and we're already on the Academic Search Complete, are going to be the easiest for you to use and will probably give you the most. So what you want to do is start with some keywords, and you're really going to need to think about what it is that you want to search. So if you want to look at reading, do you want to look at reading comprehension? Do you want to look at reading fluency? What specifically are you trying to research? So let's look at reading fluency. For example, if I just type in reading fluency and hit search, I come up with over 3,000 results. That's a lot of results, especially when I'm only looking for 8 to 10 articles. So what I might also look at is secondary settings. And so you can see already there's secondary education and auto-populated. So what I'll do is I'll hit search again, and that brings me down to 40. Okay. One of the things that you're going to want to do as you're going along here is to keep track of your searches. So what I often do is have just a Word document that I'm using, and I may just type in, there we go, what I'm searching for, and I think we had something like 33, let's just do hits, and then reading fluency and secondary education, and that brought me to 40. And the reason that I do this is so that I can keep track of everything that I'm searching for. Otherwise, it's very possible that you're going to start the search and forget what variables you're using. Having these variables written down is important as well, because once you start to do your methods, you're going to need to have what's called inclusionary and exclusionary factors. Exclusionary terms. So you're going to need to know what it was you used to get to these 8 to 10 research articles. So keep track of what you're searching. So just kind of taking a look at this, the other thing that you want to take a look at is we only want scholarly or peer-reviewed articles. And the reason that you only want peer-reviewed articles is because you want to make sure that everything that you're reading has gone through some sort of external peer review. This is really important. And it's important because as you were reading the Bracey article, we want to make sure that the research methodologies, that the data collection, that the validity, reliability has been checked, double-checked, triple-checked by outside reviewers who are critically reading these articles to make sure that they include what it is we're looking for. So we do want to make sure that they're peer-reviewed. And the other thing that you can do to kind of change your parameters is to look at the dates. So currently, the vocabulary and secondary search is between 1994 and 2013. So let's say that I just want to come back to the past, I don't know, 20 years or so. And when I do that, it only brings me down to 30. So you can continue, so there was nothing actually during 2003. If you look kind of at the bottom here, closest was 2005. But if you want to change the search, this will also change the number of results. So again, you want to keep track of that. And so when you're going through and you're looking at your information, you're keeping track of what you've done. Here you may want to add added years, 1999 through 2014, and that gave me, now I'm just kind of making these up as you go along, 22 articles. So again, this just gives you a way to keep track of what you're doing so that you don't forget what you've searched. So let's go back another minute and take another look at some other ways to do this. So let's suppose that I want to know about learning disabilities. Okay. Now, if I were to just do this search, I come up with over 9,000 articles. And then let's go to elementary settings. Let's just do elementary. 749. And then let's just keep narrowing this down. Accommodations. Okay, and now I'm at 34. You can always add another row here by pushing the button. And let's say that I want to know about accommodations or modifications. I really want to take a look at both of those things. So one of the things that you can do is take this drop down and go to OR. And what that will do is it will give you all the hits that are either accommodations or modifications, so that you're again broadening your research base, which just brought it up kind of through the roof here. So that may be something that we want to delete. Maybe we don't want to have the modification piece on here. The other thing that you can do is, as you're going along, if you slide down here on the left side of the screen, you can see that there's a couple of other options. There's academic journals, reviews, and magazines. In academic journals, that's where you're going to find your peer-reviewed articles. So clicking that button will also change the results you're getting. And then if you go down again and you look at thesaurus terms, what you might find here, and it looks like we've got some sort of, we've kind of changed our topic when we added the modifications piece. So let's do this. There we go. Let's go back down here now and take a look at our thesaurus terms. We have things like special education, academic accommodations, families. So this gives us some other search terms that might be helpful in finding articles. So if you are doing a search and you have not found what you're looking for, so let's say I turn this into secondary, which is really going to change my results. Nope, not as much as I thought. But again, if it brings you to too few results, that will also help. If at any time you want to get rid of a limitation, so let's say I want to change this date, I can just unclick that button and that will change what I'm looking for. Let's suppose I only want to look at qualitative research. Now, this doesn't always mean that just because I type it in, every single article is going to be a perfect match for what I'm looking for. But it does start narrowing down the number of results. So I have differences in learning disabilities, self-advocacy and reports, perceptions of, and so some of these are not going to be necessarily research articles. They're going to be either position papers or practitioner journals. But you get the point about how to continue adding fields here, or how to broaden your topic area so that you are finding as many articles as possible. So let's do one more component here. Student achievement. And let's see what we get. Okay, so we have 309. Let's do urban. Let's do urban settings. I don't know if that's going to change. So now we're down to 12. So let's take a look at this. When you find an article, one of the things you want to see is if you can actually access the text right away. If you see this down here, this means that you can get to the text just by one click. If it says locate the journal articles, you may have to go through a couple different sites, or you may have to go to the lending library to get those. But I encourage you not to give up. The other thing that you can do is you can go here and you can see this is from Reading and Writing Quarterly. And on that very first screen page, when we first logged into the library, you can go to the alphabetical listings of the journals or of some of the databases and actually look up Reading and Writing Quarterly and find it that way. So when you go to an article, it should pop up on your screen and you'll find the full article, which then you can save or print. The other thing that you can do is, let's suppose that this article works for you. It's a really good article, it's a research article, and it's right on target with what you want to study. The other thing that you can do is go down to the references, and if you take a look at these references, sometimes you'll find other articles that may tie in to your topic area. And so you could go through and actually use this as a search engine. So if we look at this article here,